Parashat Bo, one of the most fascinating portions, or in the Torah itself, and especially in the Chumash, Shmot, but Bichlal in the Torah, and there's something that is quite bizarre, right? It talks about the darkness, the Makat Choshech. And what's bizarre about it, it says, "V'laYehudim or b'moshvoteim," and the Jews had light in their place. How is this possible? I mean, it's not possible that the Egyptians and the Jews that live in the same land experience the plague of darkness, of Choshech, in a reverse way. And it says, "Vayomer Hashem el Moshe," and God said to Moshe, "Natei yadcha al hashamayim," raise your hands to the heaven. "Vayi choshech alechem Mitzrayim," vayimash choshech, and it became dark. "Vayat Moshe et yado al hashamayim, vayi choshech afela b'chol eretz Mitzrayim shloshat yamim." There was darkness for 3 days. "Lo ra'u ish et achiv, v'lo kamu tachtav shloshat yamim, v'lechol bnei Yisrael haya or b'moshvoteim." And all of this. How is this possible? I mean, it doesn't make sense. We're missing here something. I mean, last time I checked, unless you listen to some conspiracy, Joe Rogan style kind of a stuff, I don't think that they had generators in Egypt at the time, that the Jews had generators and the Egyptians did not have generators. That's why they had light. It just doesn't make sense.
The aliens do.
Yes. And we also, there's an expression in Israel that they use on something that's really, really dark. They call it Choshech Mitzrayim. It's so dark, it's like in Egypt. What does it exactly mean? I mean, what does it mean? The answer is very simple. Believe me. It's simple that Makat Choshech, and I have a chidush for you, was not the darkness. The Makat Choshech was not of darkness at all. At all. It wasn't darkness at all. But on the other hand, on the opposite, it was a plague of light, not of darkness. In Aramaic, a plague of light, we call it how? Pulsa denura. Pulsa denura. The Mekubalim claims and say, and we all know that also, that everything that comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu towards us is referred to as light. Pleasure, light, endless of good and abundance. And darkness does not exist at all in the realm of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why Makat Choshech, the plague of darkness, could not have become a plague of darkness. It has to be something else. Now, so what is exactly what's going on there? The difference is, the light comes out, but the difference is on the vessels in which receive the light. The kelim, the vessels in which receive the light. The same light that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends us, there are those who are able to receive the light, right? And then he feels the light himself. He feels enlightened. He feels the light. Excuse me. And there are those, like for example, in this kind, the Mitzrim. The Mitzrim are those constricting vessels. Tsar is narrow, constricting. The vessels were small. And for him, the light is for sure completely darkness, because his vessel cannot hold the light. So that brings us to a very interesting place where the Navi Amos, also known as Amos, says the following: Hoya mitavim et or Hashem, those who desire the light of or the day of God. Lama ze lachem yom Hashem? What do you need it for? Uchoshech velo, it's darkness with no light. What does it mean? Amos says, those of you who expect Geula, redemption, what are you waiting for? Because the great light is going to come out. Do you have the appropriate light to receive it? I mean, we know in Sheshet Yemei Bereshit, in the 6 days of creation, when the great light of God came out, there was what we call Shvirat HaKelim, the broken vessels. The vessels could not hold the light. You want Geula. Do you have the proper tools to receive and really hold on to this light? That's what the Navi is saying. In other words, if you don't have the appropriate vessels, the Geulah, the redemption, would seem to you as darkness. So, and you know, it is just, I mean, when you come to realize this, it kind of, it stops you on a dime here. I mean, oh my goodness. You know, all those who ask Mashiach now, did you get the proper tools for that? Did you work on yourself? Right? Chazal tells us in Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Tzadikhet Amud Bet. Very good. It tells a little parable about a rooster and a bat. And both of them were expecting the light. Now, you know the rooster, when the light comes, he starts crowing, right? And so the rooster told the bat, I'm waiting for the light, because the light is associated with me, because that's when I call the, you know, but why are you waiting for the light?
Blind.
You're blind. I mean, light for you is a curse. It's not good for you, right? When the bat flies at night. It doesn't fly in the day. So for the bat, the light of the light that comes in the morning is complete darkness for him, because he can't see. He can only see at night. So we could derive from here something very interesting, that if a person experienced darkness in his life, this is not anything else, but rather as a result that he did not get the appropriate vessels to receive the light. Which comes to shed maybe a light on a concept that we use all the time. How do we say food that is appropriate for us to eat? How we call it?
Kasher.
What?
Kasher.
Kasher. Kosher. What's it kosher?
Arson says wow.
Arson says wow. Oh.
Wow.
Hey Arson, we miss you here.
Preparation.
Leachshir is to prepare, to see fit, to become appropriate. So it's appropriate for me to eat because there's a hechsher to it. Hechsher kilim, right, is to make the appropriate tools. So now, all of a sudden, think about Pesach. When we are doing the Hechsher Kelim, it's symbolic of us, of preparing our spiritual vessels. That's why you should not see Pesach as a task of torture, and you should not go away for Pesach to some kind of like a cruise in the Caribbean. You should be so willing and eager to come in and make all your kitchen kosher and all that. And that is a tremendous thing. Why is it a tremendous thing? Because according to the Mekubalim, when we say Bo el Paro, come to Paro, means enter what the Paro's psyche, the way he thinks, the way he is. Come to him. Don't leave him alone. Because if Paro represents the physical aspects of our life, and Moshe represents the spiritual, as we said before, Am Yisrael and the Goyim, spiritual body and soul. So in other words, the job that he says, Bo'el Paro, bring the spirituality into the physical. Bring the light into your everyday routines, or whatever you do every day. So don't run away from it. Clean your kitchen, kasher your stuff for Pesach, and all of a sudden it's not a big deal. It's like cleaning the kitchen becomes a spiritual aspect, becomes a spiritual thing. It doesn't. It's not a task of some kind of like slave labor. So therefore, when a person did not get his vessels appropriate, and that's why, right? He feels the darkness. It's not that from Mishamayim they send darkness to him, to his life. It's not because of that. It's because the darkness he's experiences because of his vessels, not as a result of the light. Because everything that comes from Hashem is good. Kol de avid rachamana letavavid. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does, it's for the best. Why we see it as bad? Because our vessels are not ready to receive it. So for us, light becomes darkness. There's no such thing as darkness that comes from Hashem. So even the concept like Gehenna, right? Hell, right? That we look at something that is dark, and there's something very objective, something very cruel, very tough, and so on and so forth. This is also a wrong appropriation to what Gehenom is all about. And why is that? Because it says the Gemara, Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, says Resh Lakish, En Geinom Latid Lavo. In the world to come, there's no such thing as hell. No hell. Why? Ela Kadosh Baruch Hu Matzeh Chama Min Artika Umagdir. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes the protective shell out of the sun and he lets the full light come out. Now, what happens then? Reshaim nidonim ba v'tzadikim mitrapim ba. A rasha at that light will be judged, and the tzaddik, the righteous, will be healed by it. And that is maybe. And by the way, where is that?
Sanhedrin.
We learned this. I see you don't do chazara. Avodah zara daf aleph. Amud aleph. You don't do chazara. It's time to go back and return. I know we're in daf ben tet, but you should go back and do chazara. That's in Masachet Avodah Zara. Now, let me tell you something. When the Navi tells us, right, Derechei Hashem yesharim, tzadikim, yilchu ba v'rashayim mikashlu ba, it's the same thing, because the Rasha is not able to learn the Torah and to receive the light from the Torah because he didn't prepare himself. That's why we says, En melabdim Torah letalmid she'eno agun. If you have a Talmid that is an inappropriate Talmid, well, you don't teach him Torah. Not because you're cruel, because he's going to stumble. It becomes for him some amavet. To a tzaddik, it's become some chaim, a elixir of life, and to the rasha, it becomes poison. It will kill him. Not because there's anything wrong, chas v'shalom, with the Torah. The Torah is great light, but you need to prepare your vessel. You need to clean yourself better, and that's what the whole secret is all about. So. And what does it mean? Let me give you an example. So imagine you have this stud, this good guy, right? Like, good looking guy. I don't know, late 20s, mid 30s, something of that sort, right? No, he's well fit, well put together, has a lot of money. The only thing he's missing is what?
Spirituality.
No, he's missing a wife. He's missing a wife. So he sees, he gets shidduchim, and he sees very, serious women, good women, and so on and so forth. But somewhere along the line, right before it's time to make a decision, he never able to make it. Why? Because all of a sudden he says, you know what, this one temperament is a little bit off. This one is, she's too spiritual. This one is not enough spiritual. This one wants my money. This one doesn't want my honey. In other words, all of a sudden, every woman that he meets, he only sees the choshech in her. But it's not that there's something wrong with the girls. There's something wrong with you. Why? Because we say, Kol haposel bemumo posel. If you put blemish on other people, that basically means you. Remember when we go like this, right? We go like this, I point at the person, you. So whatever I pointed you is 3 times pointed me. The blame is with me. The problem is not with his women. The problem is with the guy. He's not ready. And then he says, well, there's darkness in my life. Right? There's no darkness in my life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent you great light. He sent you a woman that will be a good wife for you. She will be, whatever she needs to be. She will raise your kids and so on and so forth. You are not able to see that. And all you see is the darkness. Because you're clear. You are not ready. You are not ready. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you time after time after time. But you don't see it. So therefore, why? So for you feel you're in darkness. Why? Because your kelim are not ready. Your kelim are not ready. The light of this women kind of blinds them up. You need to be able to receive the light and project it out. That's why we always wear white clothes on Shabbat, or at least the Mekubalim in Tzfat. They wear 4, like the Ari, 4 white garments they wear, right? White, why white? Because white receives all the colors, includes all the colors, and then sends it back. The black receives, it takes it, but still the light is inside of it, so you get blinded. You can't see the light. You get blinded. So you can't see it. You really cannot see it. I mean, it's very similar. We're talking about getting more guys to the yeshiva and getting guys like this. So imagine, for example, you take kids from high school, right? Or just a regular high school, whatever. You send kids to the yeshiva. Say, guys, let's do a field trip. We'll go to a yeshiva, right? Yofi. So what happens at the yeshiva, right? come in and say to the guys, okay, sit down, 20 guys and 20 guys. Well, what do you do here? Oh, we learn. Right? We learn. You learn. What else do you do? Nothing. We just learn. Do you have a TV? No. Do you have internet? No. Do you have computer? Right? Computers or something? Or, no. Do you have girls? No. What do you do all day long? I don't know. We learn. So what happens? Terrible. Right? And by the way, sometimes in Israel, they refer to people who learn in yeshiva as dark people, chashuchim, michum choshech, because it's dark. Because why? Because they cannot see the great light of the yeshiva. Right? All day long you're dealing with big books, with heavy books, with this and this and that, but you don't live life and so on and so forth. However, if you ask the yeshiva bachurim, right, as far as they are concerned, learning, having pilpul, understanding the sugya, anything that the rabbi tells them, they, in terms of the chidush in the Torah, they're delighted on it, they come up with you. So for them, it's great light. A person that did not experience the great light of the Torah could never relate to it, could never understand that. So the Egyptians don't have a holy vessels to really feel that great light. It's because they always are constricted, and that's their nature. That's why they feel the darkness when this actually was light. And to the Jews, the Israelites that were in Egypt, they have the vessels. That's why they feel the light. HaKadosh Baruch Hu simply brought a lot of light, but for them it was darkness. Now we need to understand that every Jew has a very unique point inside of him. That is a very, very strong point. And that's the point of emunah that needs to be awakened up in order for him to really bring himself up to what we call tshuva ila'ah, to bring yourself from where you were, to elevate yourself up further from where you, and so on and so forth. The Sefer Netivot Shalom explains, it says that each and every one of us has, natural forces or powers that you receive them in order to do your peulot, to do what you need to do. However, which is normal. However, in a time of danger, there's a tremendous superpowers that you could go. You could lift a car, do some crazy things that, great bravery, that you could do. It's just unbelievable what a person can do. And these are forces that you yourself were not even aware that you possess those powers. So is in the spiritual. We also have tremendous powers that are within us that we can come up. I mean, again, look at Am Yisrael, how Am Yisrael is joining together in this darkness, and from this darkness the light comes out. I mean, you should know, I don't know who said it, I think Picasso said that from every destruction there is a revival. There's something good that comes out of it. And when we say in Pesach, Ba'avur zeh asali HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mitzrayim, when you say zeh, what does zeh mean? Zeh means in the fact that we are able to elevate ourselves and to bring ourselves from the darkness of the pits, for the bottomless pit. We're able to bring ourselves and strive to the light because we are actually seeking freedom. And the freedom is not just to be free to do absolutely nothing. When people associate themselves with freedom, that means let me do nothing. And it's very funny because the slogan, let my people go, right? It was always in the movies with Martin Luther King. Everybody used let my people go. Everybody forgets one word, Vayavduni, afterwards. You should let my people go in order for us to be of Shem. We don't want to be free without any obligations. We want to be free from the burden of the nations to worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu the way we want. Shalach et ami vayavduni. Ko amor el paro, shalach et ami vayavduni. So, and why? Because if you are free with no strings attached or anything, you have no purpose in life. That's the biggest purpose, to get yourself closer to Hashem in everything you do. And how you do that? You bring the light into the physical. You bring the neshama into the physical. You bring Am Yisrael into the Mitzrayim, which what it says, Bo el Paro, enter Paro it well. And that superpowers of Emunah, this is the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when it says, Levilti yedach mimenu yedach, that Emunah could bring us the power and the ability to actually facilitate change inside of us as people and inside of us as a nation as well. The point to really understand that beyond the historical story of the Torah, the Jew and the Egyptians are two forces that exist within me, within us, inside of us. And that is a very, very strong spiritual idea and very meaningful, that all our life could change if we understand that the darkness we experience in our lives comes from our inappropriate or from our broken vessels that we have, and not from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why we should be striving to actually bring it all about together. So, this is a big avodah, and you don't have to go to an ashram in Tibet to do so. That's in every single thing that you do. It starts with stopping 2 seconds before you make a bracha to really understand why you're saying the bracha for, to change your attitude about mitzvot, about the Torah, of why you learn and how you learn. You learn Torah not to get a smicha, from a rabbi because you want to have it on a plaque on the wall, or because you have some kind of an unresolved issue that you never got anything in your life and you have to catch up with people. You need to learn Torah because you need to learn Torah without any strings attached. You want to be a rabbi? Okay, what's the purpose for that? I want to help people. I want to guide people. To get a certificate, it's not a purpose to get a rabbi. I'm sorry to tell you that. And so is everything else in your life. Everything should be a meaning. Everything should become, you should polish every vessel that we have to be able to receive the light. And Be'ezrat Hashem, when the Geulah will come, we're actually going to rejoice on it. And that is the great light HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings to our life. So I wish on all Am Yisrael, Refuah Shlema, Geulah Krova, and Tikkun HaKelim, and Tikkun HaMidot, and to all Cholei Israel, Refuah Shlema, and to return all the captives back. Amen.
Shema.